Thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Michael Gustafson. I was born and raised here in Georgia, and I've lived in Bridgeville ever since I was about 3 years old. I'm an Eagle Scout and a swimmer, and some of my hobbies include traveling to places such as Wyoming, Alaska, even Europe, as well as backpacking and snow skiing. I got to where I am today through hard work and motivation. I've accumulated over 190 hours worth of service in this community, as well as over 260 hours worth of tutoring, and I plan to continue these efforts. In the near future, I plan to attend Georgia Tech, majoring in chemical engineering or some other math-related field. So, for my senior project, I thought it would be a good idea to pursue the career of math coordinator. I'm currently taking multivariable calculus with Georgia Tech, and most of what I tutor is math. So by planning and conducting a math tournament, which is what I did, I was able to combine my passion for math with my desire to challenge others. Also, for my MGRP, or Multi-Genre Research Project, I decided to focus on improving America's educational system. I looked at the problems associated with the system and thought that by offering more educational extracurricular activities, such as math tournaments, I'd be able to benefit the system, especially in the poorer regions of the United States. Thank you, and I can't wait to show you my project.
So essentially what I did is I planned and organized an entire math tournament. I invited 20 schools from around the state of Georgia, the farthest one being in Augusta, Georgia. And I wrote all the questions for the tournament. I organized volunteers, the food for the volunteers, and made sure the mic was working the day of the tournament, all the logistics associated with it. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the process that made my tournament a reality. The biggest help was my project facilitator, Mr. Oglesby. He's a math teacher here at Woodstock High School, and he's also the math team coordinator, so he does everything with the math team, including, he has run several tournaments in the past before. So the first thing I had to do is I had to write all the questions, which took a long time. There's basically 3 different sections of the test. There's the ciphering portion, which is the speed round. There is the individual test, which is 25 multiple choice question test, where students have 60 minutes to complete. And there's the power round question. This is the really hard single question where the whole team works together to complete it. And here's me working on my questions. So after I wrote them all up on notebook paper, I typed them up, printed them, stapled them, and the ciphering round is only half a sheet of paper. So I had to layer each one. Each question is a different color. So here's one for you, for you, for you. Yeah. And I intentionally put them backwards so that the students wouldn't see the question before they begin. And I told them to put their name and school name on it. So every student got one of these, and I had to print 160 copies for the JV and 160 copies for the varsity. So 320 copies total. And there was one error in printing, but I planned accordingly and made sure I printed everything at least a week in advance. So even though there was one problem, I reprinted 320 copies the day before the exam. So after I finished the tournament, I put it into a portfolio with my invitations, the questions themselves, and the results of the tournament. This is the 3 types of questions that I explained earlier: the ciphering round, which is the speed round, the individual test, and the power round. Here's the invitation that I delivered to all the schools. It is Valentine's Day themed since it was February 6th, so only a week away from Valentine's Day. And I also included a brief synopsis of me, why I'm doing this, and the schedule of events at the tournament. I also put registration forms in the school envelopes Actually I put 2 in, one for the junior varsity and one for the varsity teams from each school, and I included a script of what I said at the tournament. I led the ciphering round while the proctors led the individual test in the individual rooms. So this is what I said and the answer keys after the question was completed. Here are the volunteers. I had over 40 volunteers from the school help me with the tournament, and I couldn't have done it without them. They were an incredible amount of help. And then the questions themselves. So I'm just going to go through one of these. This is the JV ciphering or speed round. A practice question, question 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 10, and then an answer key. This is the varsity ciphering, which is the one I gave to you guys. And it composes the same exact thing as the junior varsity, except different questions. This is the JV individual test, and the answer key. And the varsity test and the answer key. Here are the results. Cambridge High School came in first place for the JV team, and Chattahoochee High School came in first place for the varsity team. And a slideshow video to sum it all up. This is the registration table where the volunteers and the students in school signed in. These are the scores. They helped me determine the winners of the round. This is me at the podium leading the ciphering round. These are some of the contestants heading to their rooms for the individual testing portion. And here's the cafeteria full of the ciphering round contestants. And here's a quick clip of me in the from the actual tournament. So the students are given 1 minute to complete a problem.
2 minutes to complete the problem, you may begin.
They're actually given 2 minutes, but if they complete it within the first 1 minute, they get 10 extra points. So 1 minute later, everybody's hand shoots up, and the runners, which are the volunteers that I got together, bring them to the scores to determine if they got the question right or wrong, and what time they finished it in.
1 minute.
And there's 2 boxes. There's the 1 minute box and the 2 minute box. But everybody in this has completed it within 1 minute, so they're just giving it straight to the scores. And then these are the math teachers that helped me record the information. And trophies. 5 trophies were given to the top 5 teams, and the medals were given to the individuals. So this project was a learning stretch because as the question writer, I had to go beyond traditional math taught in high school, such as calculus, trigonometry, geometry, and focus more on problem solving and pattern-related math. And although I'm going to be a chemical engineer in the future, this project was necessary and established the base necessary for me to be successful in the future. And from anything from presentation skills, organizational skills, to math knowledge. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Are there any questions? Yes?
How was this a learning stretch for you?
Thank you.